Hi there, I'm Clarence Waldron. Welcome back to another Black Muse. Tonight's guest, tonight's guest is the one and only Regina Jones. She's the subject of a powerful new documentary called Who in the Hell is Regina Jones? I'm going to say that name again, the title again. The name of the film is Who in the Hell is Regina Jones? I just love that. Regina Jones and her late husband, Ken Jones, were the founders of Soul newspaper, a national newspaper that attracted so many Black stars, including Aretha Franklin, James Brown, Earth, Wind and Fire, Stevie Wonder, the Jackson Five, and so many more. Also, Regina was the editor-in-chief of the publication as well. So I'm going to stop and turn it all over to Miss Regina Jones. Hey, Regina, how are you?
Clarence, it's good to see you again and have known you so many years and that we're still up and still kicking.
Yeah, here we are. Here we are. Here we are. But it's the first time that we've met, though, right? I don't remember meeting you
I've
over the
seen
phone
you.
talking.
Isn't that interesting? Because you've always been in Chicago
Yes.
and I've
Yeah.
always been in Los Angeles.
Yes. 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 Yes, indeed. But
Huh.
let's dig right in here. What inspired you to want to let them do this film on you? Who in the hell is Regina Jones? Why did you say yes to this?
I didn't say yes to this because that wasn't what I was walking into. I was approached, they were doing a story on the Los Angeles riots of 1965. And I happened to be working at the police department at that time and got the first officer needs help call. And I said, sure, I'd be happy to talk about it. And we started working together. And then when they found out more about me, other than that, they said, oh, we want this documentary to be about you. And I said, without thinking, okay, that would be nice. And then we were just, anytime they'd say suit up, I'd suit up and show up and they'd record. And I'm very honored, Clarence. I've been working on a memoir for 20 years. So now I don't have to worry about writing a memoir because they filmed a memoir.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
So that's, if I write some stuff for my kids or family, fine, but I don't feel that need to document my life for my children, my grandchildren, my great grandchildren.
Right. So, what made you decide to call it Who in the Hell is Regina Jones? I love that title. It's very
Well,
intriguing.
I came up with that because they had other, regular titles. And I said, well, at 80 some years old, I still don't know who in the hell I am. I'm still searching. So let's see if we can find out.
Okay.
And and they took and they went for it. And I'm really pleased. Um, what I get to look at is that I've been blessed. And don't misunderstand, I have had some falls, I have tripped, I have gotten knocked down, I have been down and out, but there's always been someone or something reaching out towards me. And even the fact that Soul started, Ken was working as a reporter, radio reporter. And then I was working at the police department. I get this phone call that Watts, officer needs help, and oh, the tension. And it was like 6 blocks from my home where he was, and the kids were home at that time. Late one afternoon, I'm working the evening shift, the night shift. And I said, Ken, when I could finally get off my position and run out to the lobby to the payphone, and I called, I said, there's police all over the place. There's problems, right there at Avalon and 116th. You need to go out there as a reporter. And he ran out and started covering it. And as he covered the Watts riots, and I participated working at the police department through all of those 5 days, he got the notion that our people needed to read about something good. And that something good happened to be about our music, because he loved music. And then he ran over with me some names. I can't even remember what they were, but when he said soul, I said, that's it. And thus, 9 months later, Soul was born after the Watts riots. Now, we had no money, 5 kids, but it was an idea. And I had a job and he had a job, and we started Soul. And no notion that it would go from a local newspaper to a national newspaper and survive for 16 years. But the need to document Black music, document the Black recording artist. In those days, you get an album that was recorded by someone Black with a white person on the cover.
Yep,
We
very
needed
true.
to change that. We loved Ebony and Jet, but they primarily were covering a Nat King Cole or Lena Horne. They weren't covering no James Brown in those days, or Little Richard, or any of those people. So we started doing that. And the record companies didn't have photos, most of them, or bios on their artists. Motown was the only one that already had set up and had publicity. Junius Griffin, I remember him as a publicist working for Motown Records.
Wow. So now, in your own words, who is Regina Jones?
I don't know still, Clarence. I wish I could tell you. I'm still learning. Um, Even watching myself today have a complete temper tantrum, at our new AI and all our new gadgets that are hard to master and don't work. I was devastated when I did uh, Good Day LA at Fox TV on Tuesday, when I realized that all the cameras were moving around were robots. A man down the hall was moving the cameras on the set. There were about 6 of them. And in the old days, there would have been 10 people, not 2 people working that. So the people that don't have jobs, it's an eye opener. So at this stage of life, between the battles to keep up as an elder myself, my concerns about the future of my children, but more my grandchildren, and what they're going to do, is why I'm willing to keep speaking, to scream, to do whatever is necessary to help people work together and unite to make as much good as we can pull out of things. In my lifetime, I have seen us go from so much racism and prejudice to what appeared to be so much less, to what now has come back to know it was just smothered and hidden and is striking us from all directions. So
Absolutely.
I'm willing to do whatever's necessary to wake people up and to help people understand, whenever you fall, whenever you trip, whenever you get knocked down, you have to get back up. We cannot give up on ourselves or one another.
Got it. Now, Soul came out in 1966. Who were the first artists that you featured on the cover? Do you remember any of them? I'm sure you
Yeah, the
do.
first cover was, oh God, James Brown and Mick Jagger, and the headline said, "White artist selling Negro soul." Uh,
Oh, oh, I see it. Okay.
that's backwards, but that's
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, we started out putting our foot all up in our mouth and screaming.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was quite an adventure. And it was Ken's baby. Ken was the visionary. I'm an implementer. You give me something and I'll make it work.
Yes.
uh, your vision, I can kind of, see something else and put the pieces together. So I was just handling the books, and I was still working at the police department. And I one day came in to pick up the money or whatever it was, and the receptionist was alone in the office and sleep on the sofa. Well, without thinking, I fired her. Well, who's going to have to be the receptionist now? and run the office.
Mm.
So I had to take a leave of absence from my job and go fill in there. And that's how I started becoming more involved and learning other things.
Got it. Got it.
And then when he became the first Black television news anchor in Los Angeles, he couldn't be publicly out in front at Soul because he was running the editorial. I was running the advertising, sales, the distribution, all the other crap. Then I had to step into editorial and deal more hands-on with the writers, the deadlines, and the whole bit.
Yeah. So now, I'll stop there for a minute. What stations were he on? Was he on?
He was the first Black news anchor on KTTV, which is now Fox TV here in Los Angeles.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
And that was a big thing. That was his dream from when he was a kid standing on the podium at the church announcing and reading stuff. He had that desire. He wanted to be a George Putnam one day. Yeah.
Okay.
So, it evolved. I mean, we got married, I was still in high school and quickly had 5 kids. And then there's the riots, I think 1 year after my baby girl was born, less than a year. So we just dived in, and KGFJ radio, Ken came up with the idea, affiliate with the radio station that'll promote KGFJ Soul on sale now. And then we took it to KDIA up in San Francisco, WVON Soul in Chicago, WWRL Soul in New York. This idea so that we had promotion or advertising or whatever you want to call it by looking like we were put out by the radio stations in each of I think there were 29 markets at the beginning.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. WOL Soul in DC. Yeah. I just talked to JJ Johnson in Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, it just something that kind of had a life of its own, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And in those
Yes.
days, the artists were easy to get to because they wanted to be interviewed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I remember being really flippant with someone who had been hired by CBS or Columbia Records to be a publicist, and sitting in my office was, had an attitude. And I said, if there wasn't for a soul, they wouldn't need you.
Exactly. Hello. Hello.
And to
Mm.
me, that was probably in 67, 68. We still need each other so very much. And it's not just a racial thing for me. It's all people need each other, but we as Blacks, we've got to learn how to lift each other up.
Absolutely. Now, who were some of the stars that you covered? Some of
Oh, everybody. Uh, James was a fan from the beginning. He even had a column that he supposedly wrote for Soul. And
really?
yeah, so we would meet with him. One of my writers would we meet with him every few months, and then he would say what was on his mind and talk about it. And then she'd write these columns to say it was James Brown.
Wow.
Yeah, and then Aretha, she was always a dear friend and available. At one time, Aretha got pissed with Soul for something I think we printed or said, and wasn't talking. And I'm so unschooled in the proper way to do business because I'm right out of Watts that I called uh, Reverend Franklin, and I said, uh, Reverend Franklin, Aretha won't talk to us, blah, blah. He said, oh, don't you ever worry about that again. And from then on, Aretha Franklin was always available.
Oh,
So
okay.
that speaks volumes right there.
Yes,
Okay.
it does.
Okay.
Wow.
Everybody, Stevie Wonder. I remember one time I'm in the office, I'm working, and the front desk comes, knocks on my door and peeks her head in. She said, Stevie Wonder's here. He's just stopped by the office to play some new music he had. Our artists would frequent our office all the time. I remember Max Julian bringing Denise Nicholas up to the Soul offices when she moved from New York to Los Angeles in 1969 to do room 222. And like I was just with her this week at her book signing and a luncheon, and laughing about that, I've known her since she first set foot in LA.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It just, because you've had the relationships. Some of them are just, business, but some of them, Mary Wilson. I mean, the last time I saw Mary, I didn't even recognize her because she looked fabulous. And she came over and said, she says, "What, you're not speaking?" And I said, "Girl, you're looking so good." I kept staring, trying to figure out if it was you or not, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Just, I can't think of who we didn't know from 66 to 82.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 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 And also, I heard that Aretha Franklin wanted to be friends on Facebook, and you didn't believe it was her. Tell us about that. That is so funny.
That Facebook, I get this thing on Facebook, Aretha Franklin to be friends. I wrote back, I said, "This isn't Aretha. Who is this?" And she wrote back something, and I wrote back, "Tell me something only you and I know." And she wrote back something, and I said, "No, everybody knows that." And she wrote back, "Call my manager." And I called him, and he was so disgusted that
Ooh,
she was on. You could hear it in his voice. That's her. And so then we would communicate on Facebook. I was shocked because no PR person was censoring what she was writing or showing.
right, right,
She was
right.
throwing any picture she wanted up there. She'd be
Yeah,
sitting out just half dressed, at a mall or shopping. That was the real Aretha Franklin. No hiding, just down to earth. Um,
down to earth.
the
Yes.
hurt for me, though, was Clarence. At one point, I said, "I wish we had had an opportunity to become good friends." And she wrote back and said, "I thought we were good friends, or I wouldn't be talking with you."
Ooh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Okay. So
That's
that
it.
was C.L. Franklin. Okay.
Yes,
The
indeed.
Reverend stamped that one.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Um, Looking back at it, how big of a staff did you have on
The biggest
so
it ever got was maybe about 10 or 12 people,
oh,
not counting freelance writers and freelance photographers.
yes, yeah,
Okay.
right. Got it. Were there any moments that were difficult for you as you were telling your life story in this film? The cameras are rolling. Do I want you all to hear all this? Should you hear all this? Did you go through all that or no?
Clarence, I don't have any secrets, so I'm free.
I
Uh,
like that.
yeah, so none of that bothered me at all. Actually, while we were making the film, one of my oldest son, died, and I kept going, and I talked about that in the documentary. He died of fentanyl and heroin and whatever. And, you know, you never survive, you never get over the grief of losing a child. But at the same time, I'm so grateful he and I were in communications and talking, and I'd stop judging and fussing and being pissed and just was happy every time he called or came by, and probably had a good 5 to 10 years, you follow, more than I might have
Yeah.
had before, that he lived.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm grateful for that, you know.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
Big shock to me now, though, is looking at my kids, because one of my sons just left. And on the 16th, the same day that the documentary airs on TV, he'll be 66 years old.
Wow.
Okay,
Wow.
my babies are not babies,
They are fully grown. Fully grown.
old people. So what does that make me?
Oh,
Grateful
Lord,
to be
Lord,
alive
Lord.
and able to sit here and talk to you and able to come in here and know how to turn on the computer. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
join on the link and a whole bit. what I would like to share with you, though, is that when Soul went down, 81, it went down, it closed in 82, but in 81, I broke down. 22 years of marriage ended, and my mother died in 81.
Oh,
I was broken. I was one of those down and don't know if you'll ever get back up. And I started doing a little, marshals were knocking on the door for the debt from Soul, having gone belly up. And I was doing some temp work just to see if I could get myself together enough to go back in an office. And then I get a call inviting me out to dinner from Dick Griffey, Solar Records. So Dick and I meet at this restaurant and we're sitting there making small talk. And then I finally said, Dick, why are we here? And he says, I want to hire you as my vice president of publicity. And I went, I don't know how to do publicity. And he said, I'm willing to pay you for 6 months to prove to you that you can. And I said, when do I start?
I know that's right.
So there's a hand, that came to me that he saw what my potential was and gave me a job, offered me a whole new career.
Yeah.
And then working with Dick, and I don't think I talk about it. I can't even remember my own documentary that well, but and working with Dick, it wasn't just doing publicity for recording artists. I got to work on the 1985 presidential campaign for Jesse Jackson.
Yes.
Put him as the first presidential candidate on Saturday Night Live, not knowing if he's going to be happy or I'm going to be hitchhiking back to LA.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he loved it and he was happy. I got to put together a luncheon for Bishop Desmond Tutu. Dick was pro-Black and he let us all stretch our wings. He taught me. I was already Black and thought I had it all together, but everything about him was about one. I was trying to hire an assistant and there were two people I was down to, and he called me in to see which one I was going to hire. And the white chick was sharp. The Black chick was going to need a lot of work. And he said to me, if we don't hire our own, who's going to teach us and give us an opportunity?
Okay. Okay.
He lifted me even higher. He also taught me something at one point. I was on the road with Jesse, and he called me. He said, when will you be back in the office? And I said, well, I don't know. Jesse's doing this and we're doing this. And he says, well, did Jesse put you on his payroll? I said, I'll be there tomorrow.
Okay. Okay now. Okay. I'll be right there tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah.
So he was an incredible teacher, which I had not really ever had. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I put in 3 years there. And then Willis Edwards, I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he was
I know him. I remember him.
NAACP Image Awards. He
Yes.
begged me to do publicity there. And finally, when I left Dick, I did the first Image Awards show as a publicist. And I did 13 shows, 14 years, because one year they brought someone else in and then they came back to me the following year. Willis, I didn't know how to set up a press room, like, what I was going to need for this kind of a show.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, oh, I'll send someone to help you. And I'm standing there putting things together, and this man walks up, introduces himself as a publicist from the press corps of the White House,
Oh.
and went on and showed me how to set up the press room and
Mm.
vanished. So this is when I say life would bring me next step. That's basically why I believe in a higher power. I call it God, because I could never have created my own life like this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this
Um,
documentary is the same thing, because I mean, I know people that have been working on their documentaries for 10 years that are famous.
Right, 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 right.
And somebody just comes to me and gives me a documentary.
See, you're blessed. You're more than blessed. You know what I
More
mean?
than blessed.
Yes,
Okay.
you are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it hasn't been easy because as a woman and a Black woman in the late 60s and the early 70s, beating on those doors trying to get advertising, it was some hard doors.
Mm-hmm.
They were
Mm-hmm.
not open. Uh, and they would tell me, I mean, I can remember going to Detroit and meeting with the automotive companies. Oh, well, we already advertise with Johnson Publications. I said, well, we need some of that too. It's a different client base. They buy cars too, you know.
Ooh, y'all.
They had their, this is who we, so, you know, this is who you, there's one person. It's Johnson. And I had to say, no, there's others. We need your support too.
Right. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. It was rough. It was rough.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a full circle moment for you, as you just said that you handled the NAACP, the press, and all that, and now you're up for the NAACP Image Award for the best documentary. Describe this moment. Describe this. Wow.
Okay. There's five documentaries in that category. Right now, I've already gotten the award because just to be nominated and among those, to me, I've received an award. Okay. And then
Yes.
to be in a category with Eddie Murphy's documentary.
Mm.
Ah,
Mm.
and it's full circle because having done Image Awards publicity and now to be on this as a nominee, it's I don't know what to say. I'm just really grateful. I'm honored. Um, I'm amazed. You know, it just yeah, it's just the whole bit. I've won already. If I don't have to win, I've already won.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm scared to death. If I don't know, it's not part of the big event that of the live telecast, the
Oh, isn't
documentary
that part
goes
of
on.
that?
No,
Oh,
because I wouldn't know how to walk up on that stage. I walk with a walker now. I couldn't even,
I understand that. You know I do. Yes.
okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, yeah, it's mind-boggling. It really is. It's a blessing. And that these people came to me and put the kind of work Weigel Productions out of Chicago. They have TV stations, they have all kinds of things that they do. The producer, Alicia Shapiro, the directors, Billy Miosi, and Soraya Celine, they saw my story and they put
Mhm.
it together and they put it together um, with gobs of love and respect. You know, whatever they saw, they put it there to the point that
Hmm.
I have no criticisms whatsoever of it. I'm proud of it. I'm honored that they saw me the way that they see me and have given me the respect that they have given me. Um, this is a hell of a feeling at this stage of life to be,
Yeah. 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 To be respected, you know what I
yes,
mean? To be honored.
yes.
Yeah, sure.
And Clarence, as an elder, it also gave me positive work that I was doing that has kept me here, not sedated and sitting on the couch watching the TV.
Exactly. You're still active.
I'm
You're
active.
still, yeah.
And then you reaching out to me, you know, the fact that I'm honored
Oh, well, thank
that
you.
you remembered and cared. You know, I had someone else, Larry Bufford, who called a songwriter, and he did a wonderful story for me and put it in the Los Angeles Sentinel and several other media outlets. and Weigel hired a publicist who has been doing publicity on it, like going on the red carpet at the luncheon to announce the nominees for the NAACP Awards. I was shocked to not see one press person that I knew still on the carpet.
Oh,
The last time I was at a press event and saw the carpet, I knew several photographers, you know what I'm saying, over the
yes,
years. There
yes.
was not one person I knew.
Wow.
It's a different world. It was,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the other thing that really touched my heart was the room was very loud, mostly young people, and the energy, the joy. You could literally feel the joy that they felt about being honored in that room. And I can't think of when I felt that because they weren't saged. They weren't already used to this. You follow?
Right. Yes, yes, yeah,
It was raw joy.
yeah.
And it was delightful.
And came from the heart. Came from the heart. Yeah,
Okay. And they were
yeah.
just as fly and fresh. And then the other thing got me as an elder, they were so damn respectful of me before they knew I was even a nominee, just an old lady there helped me move out of my way. I mean, just I don't see this here in the streets of LA in life.
Okay.
I don't know
Yes.
where them people are
Right,
that
right,
I saw at
right.
that luncheon. Okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You said something in the film, writing took away pain for me. And then something else, writing was my life savior. What did you mean by that?
Okay. I found for me has nothing to do with soul. It has nothing to do with what we write professionally or journalism.
Mm-hmm.
I found that writing was a way to heal myself, to put my pain down on the page, to write about it. Write, just write. If I got mad at Clarence, I wouldn't want you to see my journal later, what I might have written about you.
Uh-oh. Ooh, y'all. Ooh, y'all.
And I just shredded at least 40 journals
Right, right.
because I don't want them left when I'm here that anybody reads how I would process the anger, the disappointment, all those emotions. And that writing and getting it out got me to the point that I won't be angry with you because if I'm angry with you, I'm not hurting you, I'm hurting me. I don't want to
Mm,
carry that poison.
mm.
When I say I'm free, I have no secrets. I'm serious about that. And the writing it down, oh, oh, it's such a healing tool. I got lucky. I joined some workshop or group where I read about something about writing to heal. And I was with those women for years, once a week,
Mm,
writing. And I remember when I was working at Dick, I was writing. That's when it began. And I'm processing my lifetime of pain. And, there's some joy there too. But unfortunately, most of it would be like, not cursing you out when you tell me no, learning how it means not right now when I'm trying to sell you an ad, doesn't
mm-hmm.
mean no, or telling you where to go, keeping it quiet because I have to come back to you. I can't blow up in your face like I want to do.
Right.
Funny story, Clarence Avant, the Godfather, okay?
Of the Godfather, yes.
Okay, he and Jackie were good friends of mine. Met them when they first came to Los Angeles, was at their home. At one point, though, when Clarence was running Sussex Records and he had Bill Withers, they had bought some ads and they hadn't paid for them yet. So I'm calling, I need the money to pay my staff and my rent.
Yes.
And I'm leaving a message, once a week, you follow. And then the next week it was like a two or three calls. And then I was desperate. So I'm calling 2 times a day, every day.
Mm.
And Clarence, about the third day that week, came on the phone and in Clarence Avant's style, called me everything but a child of God.
Ooh,
Okay.
y'all.
But that was who he was. It wasn't personal. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I'm quiet as I can be. And then he said, "Are you there?" And I said, "Yes, sir. Now may I come and pick up my check?" And then he said, "You crazy? Come get it." I jumped in my car and the check was there at the reception area for me. Okay.
Mm.
So that was the kind of learning how to pick your fights. You don't alienate people. Um, you and I don't have to agree to work together.
Right. Right.
I don't even have to like you to work with you.
Exactly.
But I've learned to love people and let people be who they are. And I've learned that when I see something I want to change or better about me, it's hard work and I want to do it. So if it's that hard for me to improve myself, how in the heck do I think I'm going to change you?
Exactly. Mm-mm.
Okay. So lessons,
So,
uh,
so many good lessons.
so many good lessons.
Yeah. Yeah.
And those hard bumps get your attention. The challenges wake you up and pay attention. When everything's going smooth, you're just sailing.
Right.
It's a joyride.
Yeah.
When you get them hiccups or them trip and falls, or somebody bumps you down, that's when the lesson time comes.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I've had my share of lessons, and I'd like to say that at my age they were over. They're still coming every day,
Mm.
but they're better now. There's like, okay, what am I supposed to do?
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
run in head on.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
This is Black History Month. How should we celebrate this month, this year in particular?
I think Black history is every day, not just 1 month. I like, the fact that I'm a flavor that's usable this month, but Black history is every day, and we've got to share our stories, share our love, share our goals and achievements. There's something's been preying on my mind lately. I've never talked about this with
Hmm.
anyone in where it was in a reporting situation, but we basically are a product of rape mostly. First, we were enslaved, and then the women were raped.
Hmm.
And we're the ancestors of that, and all that is in our DNA. Your mama, your grandmother, my mother, my grandmother. It's still there. We have not healed, and we got to find ways to heal. I wish I had some answers that I could preach that this is what you do. I don't have any answers.
Hmm.
Even what's been hitting me lately is the prejudices I found because of the color of my skin in my own Black community, having to almost apologize for my ancestors and what happened. We've just got to come up with somehow some kind of self-love and group love, and I don't know what it is. And this modern stuff that's going on is taking us all as human beings further and further because I think the white people are finally getting it that with the devil in the White House, they too are disposable goods.
The
It's all
devil in the
about
White
the
House.
filthy rich and it's about money.
Yep.
And
Yep.
we're all of no use if we're not producing that for them.
Right. Right. Got it. Before we leave, because time is running out, let me just jump to this. Tell the viewers where they can watch the film on Monday, February 16th, before we, yeah.
Yeah, that's even funny to me too in this day and age, okay? It's on Start TV. It's on Dabble, DABL, and it's on Story Television. And I've been striving to figure out how to get it on my TV to be more clear. I finally found a way to go to YouTube and then go to Fubo and then go to Start TV. So it's hard to find these unless you're of a modern person. The young people already have heard of Start TV. They've
Right.
already heard of Fubo. I've
Right.
never heard of these until this week.
Same here. Same here. Yeah.
Okay. And so that's what I'm asking. And then the other thing, it's 5 o'clock here in LA, 8 o'clock in New York, 7 o'clock, I guess, in the Middle West in Chicago. It's going to take a little work to find it. Some people have it. One of my sons, he goes right to it on DirecTV.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's not, it's like Chat GPT. It's not a natural thing for grown-ups.
Exactly.
So right before our interview, I sat down and worked to try to get it myself. And we finally went to Roku, to Fubo, and then to Start TV.
Okay.
I'm
So
sorry I can't be clearer than that, but that's it.
got it. Got it. Got it. Okay, so it'll be a challenge. Take your time, look
I
for
try to find it beforehand.
yes,
And I
yes.
even found where I could sign up for it. I could do a trial, and it was
Mm-hmm.
$82.99. And I knew that I could cancel in 10 days.
Okay.
But it was that complicated to find
Right.
it if you don't already have access.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Got
Like
it.
I wish I could tell you, oh, Clarence in Chicago, you can go to da 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 da.
Not quite. Not
But you can
quite.
you can get things delivered to the house, DoorDash
Yes.
or Amazon, and have it in
Yes.
5 minutes.
Yes, indeed.
Spend your money.
Um, all right. One more thing, and then we'll close. Anything else that you would like to share? Anything else on your mind? And then I have a quick commercial, and then we're done. Yes.
Yeah, just it's taken me over 80 years to learn how to love and appreciate and take care of myself. I've been taught all my life to take care of and give to everybody else. Learning how to give to myself and find out what my soul needs to be happy is important. And if you don't take care of yourself, what in the hell can you do for anybody else?
Very true.
So that's my words to anybody that hears me now, is even to you. You're doing good work, but make sure you're finding something that gives you pleasure and that you delight in.
I like that. I
Thank
like
you.
that. Thank you. Thank you. Before I let you go, I want to do a quick little commercial to Howard Sandifer and his wife Darlene Sandifer. They are the founders of the Chicago West Community Music Center, and this whole video podcast was their idea. They said, let's have lively conversation with newsmakers and trailblazers like Regina Jones. So
Mhm.
here we are. And also, just for my viewers out there, you know what to do. I say it every week. Click like and subscribe. Please click like and subscribe. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.